the Mama Pop Quilt Shop. Very happy to see you here today. We are working on restoring or encasing a very old heirloom quilt. This is actually a two-part series. So I have taken some photos of the front of this because it's all been hand like back work or black work done to it, and it's beautiful. It's also been hand stitched together on a diagonal. I didn't want to copy that, as there's no way I was ever going to line it up with a hand stitch one via the machine. So I did just like a nice little gentle loop to keep it all together. I have actually got 10 rows of loops going on here just because the row is not very thick, and I really want it to stay together for at least another 50, 60 years. So what I have chosen to do, because it is beyond repair, it is seriously beyond repair. I had a whole big huge rips in the section there. I did zigzag it back together. It does look much better now. It's actually part of a full quilt. There was a huge rip down here. All the batting and everything else is gone. It's just, the only way to fix this is to pretty much encase it. So I have chosen to do a nice sheer white material, as you can see here. You can still see the detail that was done on this beautiful quilt. It's just a little faded, and because it's covered with this white fabric. So it's on the bottom and the top, and I will put a new binding all the way around. I'm going to leave the original, so I'll do a binding next to the original, so I'm not taking anything off this quilt whatsoever. It did have a bit of a dirty spot down in one of the corners. Back up, Sophie. And I tried to clean it up as much as possible, but without, it's just going to rip the quilt apart if I actually tossed it in the washing machine, so that wasn't going to happen. So now we're just encasing it and making sure we can re-love it, okay? So let me just lay the top down here. So in theory, the quilt that I'm trying to save is the batting. So I've got a nice sheer on the back side and a nice sheer on the front side, and that's hopefully going to make it all nice and pretty. As you can tell here, it's all beautifully stitched, but it is falling apart. So, and there's just no way to save it. It's just, this is the only way that I can think of, and still be able to have it used. Okay, so we're going to continue. We've done one row of loops up there so far. And you can see this where the edge of the quilt is. It had red binding on it, and it has literally just all come apart. But I don't want to take anything off. I just want to try and keep everything the way it is and just save it. And it's called Loop-de-Loop, and it's just a very nice, gentle loop. Like I said, I got 10 rows of this going on. This is a 20 by 60 quilt. I have oiled Walt. It just needs to get all his little juices going. No worries. So we'll show some of those pictures while Walt is stitching up. And you can see all the beautiful, beautiful work that has been put into this quilt project. And just the love itself, just on the stitching of this butterfly alone, right? And there's sailboats and windmills and kites and flowers and little girls holding kitty cats and an Indian chief head and a duck dressed with a coat. A couple of storks. You know, it's just, it's a treasure. It really is a treasure. There's some that are so faded, I'm not sure what it is. So I just try to lay it flat as much as possible. It kind of looks like some leaves or something. One of my favorite ones is right here. It's lovely. It's lovely. And I'm glad to be able to preserve it in this way. There is another one as well. Like I said, this will be in a two-part series. This is the first one, this is the second one. It is made without any batting at all, and it is, the size of it is just harmonical. So I will be preserving it in the same way. Putting it between two sheer fabrics. I mean, you could add a solid as the back for this if you like. I mean, that's up to you. Beautiful. Yeah, it looks like a maraca or a band. You know, like it was like party favors. Got a lovely little wreath down here. So that's row 1, row 2, and stitch row 3, and then I'll roll the quilt, and then it'll keep stitching 4, 5, 6, and roll the quilt, 7, 8, 9, roll the quilt, last one. But I'd rather do it that way and have a nice neutral stitch out like this blue, and have it put together so it has a little bit of gap, but it's not to the point where the sheer fabric is just going to just wear away super easy, right? We want these still to be hung out and possibly used. On the back of the petal. There's a beautiful one down here at the bottom with a little girl with a little flower. You can see that there? It's beautiful. I mean, just the work itself. Anybody want to guess what circa era this one is? From my understanding, it's at least 60 years old. Okay, but that's the chat with the customer. So I'm gonna walk all the way back over here so Walt can start on row 3. I'm gonna hit continue. Make sure my keyboard is not in the way of Walt's main head there. I was trying to get the loop around that binding too so it stays with the quilt project itself. Like I said, I'm going to add a binding here. So I'm going to keep the original. I'm just going to come right next to it. It's a little cattywampus on a couple of spots, but that's okay. We're just going to follow what was there. I'm not going to change anything. Beautiful, beautiful. Well, we're going to let Walt finish stitching this section out. You guys have an amazing day. Thank you for joining me and coming along this adventure of how to save some of those old quilts that are just falling apart, right? Hopefully this gives you inspiration to maybe save one, or if someone happens to come across the path in the near future, you have a little idea that might help them. Have a great day, and we'll see you soon.